Okay, so for the first card, this is Leo Sun, Leo Moons, and Leo Rising. So we have the Leo card right off the bat. So Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is definitely the more aggressive and maybe even a bit passionate side of the Queen of Wands. So for some of you, this could be the more aggressive side. Sometimes we can end up becoming a bit overly strict, domineering. Sometimes we can come across as arrogant, pushy, just overall bossy. Boss life. So, but under this type of energy, it's like we can end up being maybe a bit too forceful with our words or our ideas. Yeah. So we can just kind of be a bit agitated right now, maybe even a little bit temperamental. Maybe we're just tired of, all of the crap. Time to take charge. Okay, so it's clarified by the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position. So, this is definitely a little tough, but it's not too bad. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, this is kind of like, okay, we may be feeling a bit down on our luck. Maybe we feel like things just aren't coming together. And, maybe this is feeding into why we feel like we need to be more pushy, and a bit more domineering, so to speak. We're just trying to get things moving, get things going. It's like we're just kind of tired of having to dilly dally around, but it's like things are not coming together so easily for us because the wheel is down. But what we must always keep in mind is this is a wheel, and a wheel is meant to turn up and down, up and down, up and down, all around. So the wheel cannot stay down for long, okay? Inevitably, you're going to go back up. Now, what does this mean for you? This means that if you want something, if you're actively going after something, pursuing something, say a goal of yours, you're going to have to do a lot of hard work. You're going to have to be willing to, roll your sleeves up and potentially get your hands in the dirt and, get dirty. You're going to have to work hard for it. So it's like we feel like, the luck's not there, things aren't coming together magically for us. But hey, things can still happen for us, but we're going to have to achieve it through hard work. Okay, so for the circumstances, we have the Six of Wands. So this is a wonderful card. This is a card of us achieving, a goal that we were going after. We set something into motion, we went after it, and we're achieving victory. So that is what we want. We want this victory. Some of us have put a lot of time, a lot of our energy, a lot of our sweat, into this particular goal. We're ready to win. We're in it to win it. And with the Six of Wands, this is also a card of, you know, emerging victorious. And with that victory can come, public recognition. Could be on a smaller scale, could be on a large scale. We're all different. So we're definitely pursuing a particular goal we have in mind. All right, so this would be the focus position. So this is basically the focus of the entire reading. So it seems we are very much focused on our home life. This could be our home life. This could be, our relationship, with a significant other, a spouse. This could be, relationships with our children. And it seems like there's definitely trouble in Tinseltown, so to speak. Now, I should mention that this card can, and this is only going to resonate with a very few of you, but I have to say it. This card can indicate an act of God, so to speak. So, hurricanes, tsunamis, this is where damage can potentially be done to the physical home itself through an act of God. So, that is probably going to resonate with a few of you. For some of you, this could just be indicating that there could actually be a problem within the home. And if there is a problem, it is going to be water related. Okay? So this is where we can see issues with plumbing pipes. It's crazy. For instance, like last year, my furnace literally took a crap, and trying to figure out what it was, and what it comes down to is water got into the line. Who would have thought it, but it did. And that's essentially what messed my furnace up. And I kept getting this card over and over and over. So the issues that come up with this card when it comes to the home, it's always something water related. Now, sometimes this can indicate that, potentially there could be some vandalism. Sometimes that can be an issue that comes up. And sometimes, if it is vandalism, sometimes it can come from someone that we actually know. And so that makes it a bit more hurtful. So, it could be done out of being thoughtless. And so that just really stings. Okay. Now, for some of you, this could be, simply maybe some of you are having issues maintaining your home. Maybe some of you are having a hard time making ends meet. And maybe some of you are even struggling to maintain your rent or your mortgage payment. This can manifest in many different ways. But if work happens to be slow or non-existent, well, then all of these issues definitely transfer onto the home life, and this affects our overall well-being, not just for us but for everyone in our home. It's kind of like a domino effect. So there's definitely some sort of issues within the home life. For some of you, this could be, within a relationship. This could be issues, with your significant other. Okay, so it's clarified by the Temperance card. So, just like the Temperance card, it's upright. So, this is a good thing, and this shows we're in balance. We need to be in balance. Moderation in all things, though, okay? This is a card of saying we need to be patient. And that's really hard pill to swallow, so to speak. Especially when we're going through issues like this, it's like, I think I've been patient long enough. Let's get it moving. But, Temperance comes in and says, no, you got to be patient. You have to be tolerant. And for some of you, it can really feel like we are being tested. It's like our patience and our tolerance levels are being tested. Some of you may feel like you're being pushed and pushed and pushed, and you're just like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm about to snap. But we don't want to snap because we have to be patient. We have to be tolerant. with other people. And typically this is a card of where we have to work with one another. And so communication is key, but we also have to be understanding. We have to be patient. You know, we got to learn to be tolerant, and we also need to hear other people out. Because sometimes if we just allow someone else to speak up and, you know, throw their advice out or their opinions or whatever it may be, you might actually find that they bring something good to the table that maybe you hadn't even thought about. Everyone has their own skill set and, you know, abilities. We all have something that we can contribute and bring to the table, so to speak. But we need to be open-minded and be willing to hear other people out. But overall, this is definitely screaming, hey, we have got to be patient. Things are going to turn around. You know, things will get better. But we must be patient. And, you know, there's also the message of moderation in all things. So, you know, we definitely need to be moderate. You know, we need to not go too far to the left or too far to the right. We need to have balance. Balance is what we need. And being patient and tolerant and understanding will help to bring things back into balance. Okay, so this would be the recent past. So we have the Five of Cups. Yeah, this is not the greatest card. She's looking pretty miserable. So this is a card of going through a loss and a disappointment. You know, this could have been about a romantic relationship. This could have been about, you know, a platonic friendship or a business partnership. You know, it could even be about a relationship with a family member. But it's like there is a falling out, so something doesn't work out. We lose something. Sometimes there can be a feeling where we've been disillusioned. Sometimes this can be, you know, someone just literally up and walks out, you know, and that can leave us feeling pretty disillusioned. But it's definitely a card of going through some pain because we've lost something that we love. We've either lost someone that we love or we've lost something we love. For some of you, you know, some of you aren't even interested in a relationship, and that's okay. But this could be indicating perhaps maybe you've been pursuing a dream, something that you love and that you've really wanted, you know, and perhaps things, you know, fell out and maybe it left you feeling disillusioned. You know, do what we have to do to grieve and get through that process. But, you know, our hope returns, our confidence will return, things will get better. They absolutely will. Now, again, that was the past, the recent past. So some of you could still be going through this, but, you know, it's moving away. Or, you know, for most of you, you've already been through this loss. Okay, so this would be the present, the here and the now. We have the Hierophant. So first and foremost, this is the number 5 card. So it definitely indicates that right here, right now, we are going through a bit of a transition period. So with the Hierophant, these are things that are traditional, orthodox, conventional. The Hierophant is, you know, it's like the church. It's marriage. It's the education system. It can also indicate like a bartering type of deal where we can say give a service and then receive money in return. So it can definitely be about transactions as well. But these are all things that are conventional. And this is very much a card of conforming, So, for instance, at certain jobs, there are certain rules that we have to follow. So we have to conform to the job's rules and we have to abide by them. If we do not conform, then, well, we could find ourselves fired. So it is very much a card of conforming, falling into line. Sometimes it's something we don't want to do, but sometimes it's just what's going to be best for us and for everyone else. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so it is clarified by the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is very much a card of fear and restriction. So it's like we're feeling restricted. We're too scared to move. And see, this is what fear does to us, is it paralyzes us so that we cannot make a decision. We don't move forward because fear wants to paralyze us and keep us in the same spot. But remember, fear is an illusion. And the only thing to fear is fear itself. Now, typically, there tends to be some sort of decision that needs to be made, but it's like our thoughts are so overrun with the negativity and the fear that we're just like, if I choose this, this might happen. If I choose that, this might happen. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what decision to make, So this can be tough. But listen, fear wants to keep you trapped in that bubble, okay? That's what fear wants you to do, is just to stay still so it can paralyze you, And the more that you stay still, well, then eventually, the fear's going to comatose you. We're not living when we're stuck in a bubble like this of fear. We're not living our best life. We're not enjoying our life. So we've got to get rid of this fear-based thinking, okay? And just remember, fear is an illusion. This is kind of like the dark forces, so to speak, This is how it works, Dark forces want to instill that fear because typically when we're getting ready to ascend higher and actually achieve something that we've been going after, when we're getting so close to it, this is when the dark forces try to come in and attack us because they don't want us to have hope. It doesn't want us to move forward and achieve what we've been wanting to. It wants to try to drag us back down. Don't let it, okay? This is the time to have faith, okay? This is the time to have faith. You got to believe in yourself. If whatever this goal is that you're going after, if you are truly passionate about it and you really want it, you can't let fear prevent you from having it. It's just that simple. Don't let fear stop you. Now, mind you, make sure you think things through. Let's not be impulsive or hasty, about the decisions we make. But at the same time, don't allow fear to control your thinking, because the fear restricts movement. So this is like we've created a mental prison, and the prison bars are our fears. So we're feeling boxed in by our fears. But I'm telling you, it's an illusion. Shatter it. Break free of it. You're not really trapped. You're really not trapped. And that's why I say, focus on this goal. If this is something that you are passionate about, something you really want, if you really want things to turn around and get better, you got to have faith. You got to believe. Don't allow the negativity to take control, because the negativity will just, it'll make things implode, and then we get the very opposite of what we wanted. So, hey, the mind is a very, very powerful thing. Most people don't realize just how powerful our brains are. Every thought has energy. Thoughts really are things, you know. But the positive thing here is one positive thought is 10 times stronger than one negative thought. So when you start feeling like you are being trapped by this fearful thinking, do what you can to think about things, you know. Say, for instance, let's start counting our blessings, you know. Sure, we may be having issues in the home, but if you got somewhere to sleep tonight, you're blessed. You're trust me, you're a lot more blessed than you realize, because there are a lot of homeless people that will not have a bed to sleep in or a roof over their head to go to sleep. If you're eating dinner tonight, you are blessed. If you're watching this reading, you're blessed. I mean, there are people who don't have a place to live. They don't have anything to eat, let alone a smartphone or a tablet or an iPad or a computer or whatever it may be, to have access to the internet, you know? These are little things that we tend to take for granted. And it's easy to take them for granted, but hey, you know, and just build off of that, because, you know, when we start acknowledging those small things and how grateful and thankful that we are to have them, we can build off of that. You know, if you got a child that just graduated, feel grateful and thankful for that. If you got a child that's doing really good in school and making you be proud of that. Be grateful and thankful. And this is what I mean, is just build upon that. And the more that you focus on what you do have that you feel blessed and grateful for, then you know what? The fear is going to melt right away. The dark cannot live in the light, okay? And the more that you focus on the good things and the things that you're feeling grateful and thankful for, this is you like exercising the fear out of your body, okay? Because the fear cannot live in the light and the positivity and the attitude of gratitude, so to speak. So when we're focused on what we have and what we're grateful for, we attract more things that we're going to be grateful and thankful for. That's just how it works. You know, it's pretty cut and dry to the point, you know, but this is a good way to get ourselves out of that, you know, box of fear. You know, for some it will work great, and for some, you know, we may need to work at it a little bit more. So don't get frustrated if you don't see instant results, but it's just a matter of starting it and continuing it, and you will see that fear, it goes away. Because the more that we try to control our thinking, you know, the sooner we're going to get rid of that icky fear, you know? Because we don't need it here. Okay. So now we're going to get positive, okay? So this is the near future. So we have the Two of Wands. So this is an excellent card. I am happy about this. So, Two of Wands. So you guys have definitely started something, or soon will be starting something. You'll be setting something into motion, and you're going to be waiting results on this, okay? For some of you, this could be starting a business. For some of you, this could be about starting a creative project, or, you know, doing a collaboration, or, you know, it could be many different things, but this is, we're starting something. We have put it into motion, okay? And we're just sitting back and we are waiting on those results to come in, because we are watching it materialize. Now, for some of you, this is definitely going to indicate that there could be someone that comes in that wants to help you with the project, or, you know, with the partnership, whatever it may be, whatever this is you set into motion, somebody could potentially come in that wants to help you. For some of you, this is going to be like potential partnership. For some of you, this could be like, maybe someone wants to financially back you. But no matter what it is here, we've set something into motion. And we're just waiting to see what our results are going to be, how this is going to work out. So this is absolutely positive. Now, okay, yeah, so it is clarified by the Two of Cups. So thankfully this is in the upright position. So for some of you, this could be a relationship, a romantic relationship. Now for some of you, you're not going to want that. Some of you are already in relationships. Some of you have no desire to be in a relationship. You're just focused on stacking that paper. So I get it. So what does this mean for those of you who are already in relationships or are happily single? This means that there most definitely is going to be some sort of partnership. Someone is going to come in, and you are going to have a close connection, a bond with this person. The Two of Cups is when there is equal sharing and there is balance and harmony. So this is very much a card of love, but this can be platonic love. This can be romantic love. But no matter what, it's like whomever this is, we're going to have great appreciation and we are going to feel a deep connection with them. For some of you, it might be like, I feel like I've known this person before. For some of you, you already know this person, but maybe, you just haven't came together on a particular project or, idea or partnership, whatever it may be. But for a lot of you, this is going to be someone who's coming in or who has already entered your life. So things are looking up here. This is excellent. Especially for those who are, looking for a business partner or looking for someone to collab with, say, on a creative project or whatever it may be. This is very, very positive. And it shows, that this will be a partnership or relationship, friendship, whatever it may be. It will be balanced. It will be one with harmony. So there is like equal sharing. I want to hear y'all start saying, I am blessed. And I want you to believe it because you are. Okay, so here we have the Attitude card. This is the Five of Swords. So when I see that card, y'all's being sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. So, but it makes a lot of sense. Not everybody's being sneaky, but some of you may actually legit feel like starting conflict. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'm just sick and tired. Everything's feeling kind of stale and nasty. I'm just ready to shake things up. I'm ready to rock the boat, I get it. Just, be careful. Because we have some wonderful things in the works, And we don't want to be too overly pushy. And we don't want to rock that boat too much, because we might end up knocking ourselves out of it. And that may not be the best, okay? So, but I get it, But some of you could be having a bit of a sneaky type of behavior. So, yeah, be careful on that one. Ooh. I ain't going to elaborate too much into that, so. All right, so this is how other people see you. So here we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. So this is what I refer to as the emotional wish choice card here. So we have emotional choices, but it's like a wish card as well. Now, you had a decision to make, and you made it. And you made the decision that you thought was best for you, for where you are in your current situation. That's all we can do. And now we're going to follow through on it. And this wish is probably very much related to the home life. And for some of you, you're ready to get your home life back up right here to where we're experiencing harmony. For some of you, this could be about a relationship. Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna elaborate, but some of you could be a little sneaky in the relationship part of things. Just I'm not. I'm gonna shut up now. Okay, really. Okay, so here we have our hopes and our fears. Sometimes this can show us a little bit of the subconscious. So we have the Eight of Wands in the reversed position. So this is very much a card of, where we're swiftly and actively moving towards achieving a goal. But when it is in the reversed position, this is like, okay, now I feel like everything is at a standstill when it comes to achieving my goal. And this can actually be so frustrating that it can just really begin to cause anger. That's making sense, so. But I would like to advise that if you are feeling angry because things are not moving fast enough for you and you feel like you're getting hit with every single delay possible, some of you may feel like things are just not moving at all. Some of you may feel like you literally hit a brick wall. Instead of getting mad, okay, I want you guys to take a step back, okay, and look at it from an objective point of view. This is where we could use some logic and some reasoning ability, suggested by Libra, because we definitely need to start weighing the pros and the cons. We need to really analyze the situation, okay? Because if we can take that objective step back and look at it, then we can see through objectivity what we need to change or what we need to tweak so that we can get to moving forward again, so we can get those barriers lifted and those brick walls knocked down. So if you're feeling angry, please take a step back and don't allow your emotions to think for you, okay? Because anger is an emotion. It's not a positive emotion, but it is still an emotion, okay? And I need you to take your feelings out of it. I need you to use your intellect, your logic, okay? Look at it logically from an objective point of view. You look at it with your logic, not your emotion. Because if you can look at it through your logic, you're going to find exactly what it is that needs to be changed or what needs to be altered in your particular plan. Okay? And in no time, you can change it, and you will see those brick walls coming down, those roadblocks are crumbling, and you will be able to move forward again. Things will be better, okay? I just want you guys to be careful and don't let that anger get the better of you, okay? All right. So for our final outcome, we have the Two of Coins. So thankfully, it is in the upright position. So yes, we are blessed. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, this means we're going to be doing some juggling. Yes, we're going to be doing a juggling act. Now, some of us could be potentially juggling multiple jobs. Some of us are going to be trying to juggle work in our personal life, work in our family life. We could be juggling finances as well, So I just want you to make sure that you're ready to juggle, because this is like multitasking, okay? Big time. We've got to be ready to multitask, and we have to stay in balance while doing so. Now, a little warning, a little FYI here. Sometimes we can end up getting some sort of discouraging or disappointing news, but do not pay that much attention to it, okay? Do not allow it to cause you to lose your balance. You have to stay in balance and keep juggling, baby. Keep juggling. Don't let it knock you out of balance, okay? Because we are getting improvement. We are moving forward. Those roadblocks are moving away. Those brick walls are coming down. Let's juggle, baby, okay? We got to do it. Okay, so for the first clarifying card, we have the King of Coins. So, yep, this is somebody who could potentially be coming into our future. So it could actually be a person. This could be a male or female, doesn't matter. They could potentially be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Again, that doesn't matter. But for some of you, this is going to resonate, okay? Now, ultimately, the King of Coins is someone who not only knows how to make money, they know how to make wealth, okay? And they got no problems in teaching or mentoring you on how to do the same. This is a type of person that is an investor, an entrepreneur. Sometimes we can see this as being the real estate agent, the broker, sometimes even a veterinarian. But a banker. Whatever it is, this person knows how to make not only money, but wealth. So, if this is a person that is coming into your life, oh, honey, listen to their advice. He is in the upright position, so this means his motives are good. I'm hoping that for some of you, this is going to be the business partner, because, woo, yes. Yes. That would be nice. Because this is Mr. Moneymaker right here. This is a good card. This is a blessing. Okay. Now, the next card. Okay, yeah. This is going to be a little bit of a warning, okay? So, we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse position. So, this is one of those cards where, we're having to defend ourselves, This could be defending, ourselves. This could be defending an opportunity of ours. It could be defending our family, our friends, our loved ones, our beliefs, our value system, whatever it may be. Okay? And this is about taking a stand and, battling if you have to, verbally, not physically, but being willing to defend yourself in what you want and what you believe in, okay? With it being in the reverse position, it's like you feel like you've fought so many battles and you're just feeling exhausted. Sometimes this can be that card where we have literally pushed ourselves beyond the brink. So we have to pay attention to our body. We need to work. We need to be able to multitask and juggle and stay in balance. But at the same time, we have to give ourselves a break, okay? Because if we don't, burnout. We don't want to burn ourselves out so quickly, okay? Because if we push ourselves beyond our own means, physical stamina wise, yeah, this could end up making us get a cold or a flu bug, and we just don't need that, okay? We don't need that. Now, sometimes this card comes up because, we're actively, taking a stand and defending something and protecting it, but at the same time, is it worth it? You need to make sure that whatever you're overworking yourself for, You need to make sure it's worth it in the end, okay? You need to make sure that it's going to actually fulfill you. You need to make sure this is something that you're actually passionate about. And if it is, good. But just remember, you need to take a break, okay? There is no shame or weakness in needing to take a break to recuperate. Remember, y'all are Leo, so it's all about the heart. So we got to, take good care of our heart. And blood pressure is a big one we got to watch out for, okay? So, pushing ourselves too far, working too much, getting super stressed out, that can make the blood pressure go way up. So, I want y'all to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure this is what you really want. If it is, just make sure to give yourself breaks here and there, okay? But honestly, I feel like a lot of this energy here is coming from the fear. Because I feel like some of you may end up feeling like, is this going to be too good to be true? Is it really going to work out? So I feel that, the fear is still affecting some of you, but it ain't going to be affecting all of you like that. I just feel like some of you are still going to have it in the back of your head. But, like I said, just stay focused on the blessings and the things you were grateful and thankful for. Because the darkness cannot live in the light. Now, for the bottom of the deck, now again, I feel like this is definitely very much related to, well, definitely. Okay, so Judgment card in the reverse position. So, under this type of energy, it's like we're not hearing or seeing the true nature of a situation. So, there could be a certain situation that takes place, and maybe we're thinking it's happening for one reason, but really we're not seeing the true nature of it, so it's actually wrong. It's happening for another reason. Now, for some of you, this could be indicating that you should not make an impulsive, hasty type of snap judgment. You don't want to make your decisions on impulse. We need to think things through. Because if we don't, we can end up making a decision that we regret for a long time to come. So we need to be careful of that, okay? We need to be careful. So definitely think things through. And another thing with the Judgment card is we have to be careful when, judging other people. First off, we shouldn't do it. If you're going to judge someone, be prepared to be judged back. That's how I look at it. Treat others how you want to be treated, But some of us tend to forget that from time to time. So, this is one of those cards where we might make the wrong decision or make a snap judgment about someone and it's wrong. And it's because we're not seeing things clearly. But again, I feel that a lot of this is fear-based. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to make your decisions on impulse because this is where we can end up making a decision that we end up regretting. For some of you, this could have been a decision that you already made and that you already regret. This could have already done happen. For some of you, this is just a warning of be careful, don't make your decisions on impulse. Think things through because we need all the facts. And if we're quick to make a decision, we're not going to have all those facts. We need to see the true nature of the situation. So it's clarified by the Ace of Swords. So, yeah, it's like, okay, so this is the decision. This is the new start. So the Ace of Swords, this is a new start. This is a birth of some sort. Now, the Ace of Swords is a very powerful card. I particularly love this card, but you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But I love this card because this sword will, I mean, it's like truth penetrating matter. It will cut through any bullshit. Pardon my French, okay? Sorry. But it will cut through any of the lies, okay? So that's why I love this card, because the truth of the matter will come out with this type of energy. We must always remember, though, this is a double-edged sword, so it can cut both ways. So you got to be careful. We don't want to be casting judgment upon others, because they could equally come back with some truth that is very cutting to us, okay? Treat people how you want to be treated. That's just a, you know, a good way to look at things. Now, with the Ace of Swords, you know, this is like us getting that new start, but it's also a warning that we shouldn't be too forceful or pushy with our words and our actions, okay? We should not be too forceful. Because the more that we are forceful and the more that we push and push and push, we're going to end up literally attracting, you know, opposition. And we don't need that right now, Leos. We don't need it. So, gentle. Push gently. Very, very gently. Use those charms. Okay? But do not push. Do not allow our not so great side to come out, okay? This is where we need to try to control that and keep a lid on it a little bit better. Because if we push and we are too forceful, we can end up cutting ourselves. And we can end up making a decision that we regret. Maybe this could cause us to say, it wasn't a good opportunity anyway. Oh, yeah, it was. So let's just be careful, you know. Think things through. Try to think about what you're going to say before you say it, especially if you know that it may come across as negative or hurtful. Pull yourself back for a moment and think about it. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and think about how you would receive it. Again, treat people how you want to be treated. You know, this is just a good thing to remember, because, you know, sometimes it's easier to say things, but then when we try to put ourselves in their shoes, or when it happens to us, then we're like, dang, that hurt. Yeah. So, look, things are looking up. Things are about to get better, and I got faith. I know majority of you guys are going to pull right through this. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, baby. The sun is coming out. So get ready. Things are getting better. And it's about time. I love you guys. I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love.